Alethea Felton, and welcome to the Power Transformation Podcast. If you're struggling in your life with self-sabotaging and negative thoughts that leave you feeling stuck and limit you from moving forward, I can help you. As a holistic health and empowerment coach, I help people identify, challenge, and conquer those thoughts in order to make simple and practical changes to improve overall wellness. Let's remove those limitations, for the time is now to create your power transformation. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you. I am so glad that you have made it through another year. 2023 is over and we are here in 2024, and it is my hope that 2024 is kind to you. It is also my hope that you show and give yourself so much more grace and love and attention. For some of you out there, you've been giving the love and attention to everybody else, and you've neglected yourself. And this is the time to focus on your needs and what you desire for your life. And with that being said, I want to thank you. If you are new to this podcast, thank you for joining the Power Transformation Podcast. It is such an honor to have you. And I do hope that something that is said either in this episode or any past episode that you will listen to will help enhance your life or even the life of someone else you know. So the way that we begin this podcast is I always start with an affirmation and I close with one as well. I do believe in the power of words and that words can give life or they can strip away from it, meaning that what you say can either enhance you and uplift you or tear you down. Here on the Power Transformation Podcast, I am intentional about giving affirmations that are going to bring more life into you, more hope, and something that you can apply to your daily life. And the more that you speak affirmations, the more that they become a part of you. How do I know? Because I have done these for myself. And the more that you say it, the more that you believe it, and you will start to see things happening in your physical life that go into alignment with what you say. So I'm going to say the affirmation once, and then you repeat it. I treat my body with the love and kindness it deserves. So yeah, y'all, this podcast episode is not going to be very long because it's more of an announcement, but then I am going to give a few tidbits and a few steps to it. But this is a very transparent episode that I'm going to do, and it is really about reclaiming or resetting your health in the new year. Now, before I go any further along, is we do know at the beginning of the year, we see all of these commercials and advertisements for weight loss and fitness and gym. And I got to admit, before the pandemic, I was a heavy gym rat, meaning I was always in the gym lifting and just being a workout queen, so to speak. And when the pandemic hit, I started to do more home exercises. And I had a fabulous personal trainer for many, many years. Shout out to Gabriel Olea, known him as Gabe. He's up in Maryland. Absolutely fabulous. And he was my trainer for many years. But as a person, me living with autoimmune disease, my body just could not take being in the gym during the peak of the pandemic. So I started to have home personal training, virtual, from a classmate of mine and a longtime childhood friend, Jermaine Winborn, who's based out of New Jersey, New York area. And he does virtual trainings. Of course, he also does in person. But Jermaine kept me healthy during those peak times during the pandemic when I had no choice but to just do workouts on Zoom with him. However, this past year, 2023, as several of you know, I was in a lot of transitions and shifts in my life, from retiring early from a career in public school education, doing a pivot out of that after 20 years. So I was 41 and then shifting over now into focusing on so much in this entrepreneurial world and just a lot going on. And with relocating, I was in Washington, D.C. 17 years and, moved and just going through a lot of changes in my life, but then also some great things happened as well last year for me in 2023. I've been in a fabulous relationship with a wonderful man, and I still have my family and friends who love me. And I just set a lot of personal goals for 2023 and I fulfilled them. And I am so grateful for how things are still happening and transpiring. But there is one area, y'all, where I have fallen off and I've slipped off. And I won't even say fallen off. It's just that I haven't been as consistent with it. And I decided even long before the new year that I needed to get back on it. And that definitely is with certain physical aspects of my health. Now, let me say, I feel amazing. I feel really good. Thank goodness. I have learned my body over the years, and I know what works for me and what hasn't worked for me. But I do know that my eating habits could do a lot better. I am finding that I am not staying as consistent with some of my eating, with my exercising and my workout. I have not been as consistent as I was prior to me moving. And a lot of this shifting did start over the summer, but some weeks go by and then a month and then 2 months and then 3 months. And then you look up and oh my goodness, it's been 5 and 6 months where certain habits that you have fallen off. The growth part in me is that it does not make me feel guilty. It does not make me feel badly. It does not make me feel ugly or disgusting. None of that. Why? Because as a holistic wellness coach, health is mind, body, spirit, and so much more. So just because something may not be where I want it to be physically, mentally, and emotionally, I am strong. And because of that, it does not cause me to be too hard on myself, but it makes me to have greater self-awareness. And so this episode is really an introduction to how I am embarking on a journey to truly and fully reclaim and reset my health for the new year. And I'd love for you to join me. This is not going to necessarily be a weight loss challenge because of the fact I typically remove more inches than I do pounds. And the reason is that's just how my body structure is. And I can tell you, I have not gone up in clothing size. I haven't. I'm still wearing the same size clothes that I've worn for several years. But the difference is I know my body, and I like to say I am fluffier and I am not as toned as I have been in the past. So I know where I need to tighten up. So, how do you or I really reset health? How do you reset your health? How do you reclaim it? Well, first of all, you got to set realistic goals. So for me, I have to set goals, and I have. For me, it is relating to my overall health, such as improving my diet through eating more anti-inflammatory foods. And I will do a full episode on that, as well as on my social media. That's where a lot of this is going to be documented, is on my social media accounts. So on Instagram at Alethea Felton, TikTok at Alethea Felton, even on Facebook, Alethea Felton. And so I'm going to be documenting a lot of this on social media, online. And it is not because I'm trying to show any and everybody what's happening every single day of my life, but it is because as a wellness coach, I need to show people how to do this thing holistically. I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. And it's also to show I'm a human being, just like y'all. And so I don't want anybody to think that those of us who are in these fields or who are doing this or who are teaching, we are imperfect. It's just like when I was in the classroom as a teacher or when I was training teachers, is that even in those roles, I was still learning. Educators who stop learning, maybe need to leave the profession and find something else to do. I left when I was still on top. But my point in giving that analogy is that you never stop learning and you never stop growing, no matter what field you're in or what you do. And so, therefore, what I was going to say is when you reset your health, you want to set realistic goals so that they can be specific, achievable, measurable, and timely. So, it could also be something as, if you want to improve your diet, okay, how? Maybe incorporating an extra serving of fruit or vegetables in each meal a day. It could be cutting out your white rice and white potatoes and your white pastas, or maybe not even cutting it out completely cold turkey, but cutting back. Also, you can increase your physical activity. For me, that's what I'm going to be doing again is increasing my physical activity. Okay, walking or jogging a mile a day may not be it. And part of what I was starting to do was the same workouts every day. And what happens is my body got used to that. So it's important to switch it up. Before the pandemic, I was actually training to be a certified personal trainer. Life happened, stuff happened, I got sick, everything else happened. This was some years back, but I didn't finish that program, but I am well versed in fitness. And who knows, maybe in the future, I'll go back and I'll get it. So, what I mean by that is when you do the same physical activity every day, your body grows accustomed to it and gets used to it. And you have to learn how to shock the body in doing something different. So maybe you're doing planks one day, maybe you're doing squats another, maybe you're running or jogging or walking. Maybe one day you say, I'm going to go into the fitness room in my apartment building or in my neighborhood, or I'm going to go to a gym and get on the elliptical or the Stairmaster. Maybe if you don't have access to equipment, but you have access to stairs, maybe you can walk up and down a flight of stairs. My point is switch up your physical activity. That's what I'm going to do. Also, minimizing stress. How do you do that? You breathe, you meditate, you pray, you take a stroll in the park. Maybe you watch a movie. Maybe you take a nap. Also, you sleep. I got to get better even more with my sleep. That's always been an up and down battle for me, but I know what I need to do. So that is what you can do too, is set a realistic goal. Another way that I'm going to reset my health, and you can too, create a plan. Come up with a plan that literally outlines how you will achieve your goals. And that could include setting daily or weekly targets for your diet, your exercise, and your stress management. Write it down. How are you going to do it? Similar to the most recent episode of setting intentions, but a little different, is that you want to write out a plan. When I going back again to my teaching days or when I was coaching and supporting teachers, lesson plans, or for teachers, I was giving them what were called improvement plans, how to improve on your practice as a teacher so that you can be of help to your students. Any plan that you have, say, okay, if you're trying to create a plan on how to exercise more effectively, create a plan on what to do. How many days out of the week are you going to work out? How long are you going to do it? What are you going to do it for? Okay, so that is a plan you can create for yourself. So create that plan. A third step, and I'm going to give you 5 steps, but a third step to resetting and reclaiming your health, make small changes. Small changes. I know that for me, if I try to do something all at once, I, okay, let me kind of backtrack. In the past, if I tried to do something all at once, it would backfire. I'm at a point now where I can cut out stuff cold turkey, but a lot of people can't, and I don't recommend it. So, for example, instead of having processed snacks, like instead of getting a pack of peanut butter crackers, for example, which is a processed food, swap that out for fruits and vegetables. If you stay home and you watch TV during commercials, why don't you stand up and just walk in place or do some stretches? So that's what I mean by small changes, bit by bit. So for me, a small change I'll do is kind of build upon my exercise and what I do. So I have a plan in place for how long I'm going to exercise on day one, increase it that next day, and continue to build and go down as needed. Because again, I said earlier, you want to shock the body, but make small changes. Also, fruit is good year round, depending on the kind of fruit that you get and from where you get it. I'm big on trying to eat seasonal fruits and vegetables based on where I live on the East Coast and what is in season. But if you live in a climate where you can pretty much eat a lot of different fruits and vegetables year round, do so. But the point is, make small changes because the smaller the changes you make, the more sustainable they will be for you in the future. Number four, stay hydrated. I talk a lot about staying hydrated. Drink so much water, y'all. Drink plenty of water throughout your day and minimize how much sugar and processed kind of drinks that you're consuming. Sugar, there is a statistic where sugar is more addictive than cocaine. And that is not a myth. That is true. Sugar is so addictive. And I'm talking about refined sugars. What you want to do is avoid those drinks that have a lot of sugar, as well as drinks that are high in caffeine. Because the more caffeine that you drink, your body gets dehydrated even more when you drink coffee or even tea. Now, coffee is a drink that will dehydrate you even without the caffeine. So I want to clarify that. So if you drink coffee, I'm not saying cut it out, but what I'm saying is that compensate it, replace what you drink from that cup of coffee with one or two more cups of water. But staying hydrated, water is so good. It helps with your oxygen levels, it helps with your skin, it helps blood flow. Water is so pure and so wonderful for you to drink, and people take for granted how well water works in you. So that's what I'm going to be doing is making certain. And in colder months, if you are in the northern hemisphere, it's now winter and it's harder to stay hydrated in winter. That is also a fact. It's just tougher. And so, what you want to do is you want to hold yourself accountable. So, with me, I already have a set number in mind for what I'm going to be drinking all day long. And you could even get one of those large containers where you can put your water inside of if you don't want to keep drinking out of plastic bottles, or if you have one of those big, cooler jugs, just fill up your water bottles with water and just drink it. There's a huge one that I have back in my house in DC. And what is so wonderful about that, because actually and yes, I say my house in DC because it's not vacant. So I don't want people thinking, oh, she moved and her house is empty. No, no, no. I don't play that. But my whole point is that I still have certain things there because of the fact I still go back and forth and the house is occupied and people are there and whatnot. But my whole point is I got a big jug in DC, right? And so what I'm going to do is the next time I make a trip up, I'm going to get that big jug, but I also have one where I am now too. So I can constantly have access to it no matter where I live. And that's what you want to do, especially if you are based in multiple locations. Have things that are easily accessible no matter where you are. Okay. But stay hydrated. And then something else that I'm going to do to make these changes is these are two things. You can either seek professional help. So I'm telling you, when it comes to reclaiming and resetting your health, Avoid doing anything without talking to your medical doctor. I'm a holistic health and wellness coach. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a weight loss expert, but I do have training when it comes. I have special certifications in knowing how food works in the body from a holistic standpoint, as well as nutrition, exercise, things of that nature from that holistic standpoint of it. But the fields are vastly different from a dietitian to nutritionist to wellness coach to medical doctor. All of us have our own niche and specialties. But when it comes overall to it, get professional help if you struggle to make changes on your own, and consider seeking the help of a healthcare professional because a healthcare professional can provide personalized advice and support to help you with your goals. And even somebody like me, as a health and wellness coach, I also have training to help people get to that next goal in their life, even if it includes a health goal, a wellness goal. And maybe you're like, I don't necessarily need a professional, but I want somebody to hold me accountable. Get an accountability partner that can help you out. My boyfriend, and he wouldn't mind me saying this, he eats very healthy. And I really appreciate that about him. He can cook well, I cook well. And when we cook, we make healthy meals when we spend time together. And even with this journey, I have multiple people holding me accountable, including him, and he's happy to you know, and of course, he loves me just the way I am, but also anybody that you're with are going to want to see you at your best, healthier, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, it doesn't matter. And so I use that as an example to say, have somebody in your circle that can hold you accountable with the goals you're trying to meet to reclaim and reset your health. Will there be challenges along the way should you decide to do this? Well, let me speak for myself. Yeah, of course, challenges come in life. The challenges can be okay, since I've learned this time, what do I do when a stressful time of my life comes, when I'm shifting, when I'm going? Since I already know what it looks like when I don't have a plan in place, now I know what it will look like to have a plan in place. I know how to be better on guard and prepared for it next time. And again, I'm going to be showing these aspects on my social media to help somebody out and to encourage someone else. But that is the part where people get stuck is, okay, what do you do when your back is up against the wall or you have so much going on and you fall off? How do you stay on track and how do you get there easily? You know how? One day at a time. And I know that sounds cliche. You got to give yourself grace because a lot of people hang their heads down in shame when they fall off. Or since it's the beginning of the year, they get nervous and scared because they want to go into a gym or they want to eat right, but are worried about what other people are going to say. And they like, oh, I don't want to get on that new year bandwagon. Honey, you can't worry about nobody but yourself. This is your life. Somebody's going to always have something to say regardless. But if you want to reclaim and reset your health, then you've got to do it by George, by golly, by G, do it for you because this is your life. This is the only life that we get on this planet. So you got to make the best of it. I'm not trampling on anybody's belief. I know some people believe in reincarnation and things like that. If that's what you believe, cool. But I'm talking about the here and the now of what we are consciously aware of. This is the only life that you have right now. And you got to treat your bodies with the respect that it deserves and it needs. And like I said, I've been graced where I still feel really good despite not being consistent with certain habits. I'm not going to act like that I'm not doing anything right. That's not true. but I know areas that need to tighten up, areas that need a tune up, just like your car needs a tune up, just like your car needs an oil change, just like your car needs to be winterized and all of that kind of stuff. This is what it means when you reset and reclaim your health. You're giving your body a tune up because this is the only body that you have. And you must treat it with love. You must treat it with kindness and care enough about yourself to do the same. So I encourage you to embark on this journey with me. No matter what your health situation is like, make little small incremental changes daily. Again, consult with your doctor first, especially if you have health problems and health challenges. I do not guarantee results, but I can guarantee that if you try it for yourself, that it will put a little bit more pep in your step, that it will cause you to have an even better outlook. Treat yourself with kindness. You won't regret it. And I'll keep you posted with everything. Follow me on social media about it. And I'll give some updates along the way here too, on how my tune-up is going. Let's go ahead and close out with the affirmation. I'll say it once and you repeat it. And I thank you so much for your support. This life, y'all, ain't always easy, but it's so much smoother when we do it together. Here's the affirmation. I treat my body with the love and kindness it deserves. If you enjoyed today's show, then you don't want to miss an episode. So follow the Power Transformation Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you usually listen, and remember to rate and review. I also invite you to connect with me on social media at Alethea Felton. That's at ALETHEAFELTON. Until next time, remember to be good to yourself and to others.